Well, we're at here, one of our favorite stand setups. You got a water hole. The frog just jumped in down there.
Yeah, it's a keeper, by the way.
Yeah, he's a nice frog. Look at him. But anyways, yeah, we really like the stand location. It's called the Ben. And it's called the Ben because our friend Ben Stern from Tac Team was out here, and close friend of ours, and we're just doing stuff on the property, having fun like we normally do. And Jen was out here, and I think Brandon from First Choice Food Plots was out here, or Wes was here. Anyways, fawn jumped up, and Ben really wanted to keep it, and Jen had to tell him, no, it's a cute fawn, it's just standing there, but you can't keep it. And so they named the fawn Ben, and we named this spot Ben. Stupid names, but that's how they come out on our property. You know, all these things have meaning for some reason. We think it's pretty cool to name a stand after our good friend Ben. So this is the Ben. Probably always be the Ben. And we're looking at, like, Dylan and I were just down here. We're talking about where a mock scrape could go. This is on the upper echelon of the trails. This is like the upper level of the trails. There's a trail right behind Dylan, I would say 7-8 feet back, 10 feet. And they kind of pinch together right here, and then they go that way. And then there's another trail, though, that's about 15 yards back that goes over. And then there's another trail that comes up from the bottom, and they converge right here. There's a lot of deer movement. Dylan sat here
2022
with Tyler, our hunt winner. They were sitting together, and LL Beams at that time went through the back here. Pretty far out. I don't know if no one could have made a shot on that. He was too far back.
40, 45 yards, I bet.
Back in the brush. So what we're doing is, and I'll get to the point with this video, but we're looking at moving the stand to that double oak right there. Will get us about 10 yards closer, and it gives us an open shot down into a clearing down there where those trails converge. And what we don't like is we want to mock scrape here. We're going to put it down there, 26 yard, 27 yard shot from the stand, which we're good from. We like that. It's actually downhill quite a bit. It'll probably be a straight 20-yard shot right center long, and it'll drop in the sweet spot. But that over there is where that scrape needs to be. Unfortunately, because it helps constrict everything, unfortunately over there, I really like the camera location right here on the water hole. We've had a history of good bucks here. And so we really have to make that choice of, do we stick a camera down there in the mock scrape that gets used a little bit more than a water hole, or one up here? I say both, but what do you think? I don't know.
I don't have to pay for the cameras or data you, so that's on you, brother.
Yeah. But anyways, moving that closer, putting a scrape down there, converging trails, we get a lot of use out of this. The cool thing about this is the logging plot right up there. We're getting a bachelor group of bucks that go through there, including Junior. We have a really big 9-point. We got him on the Kermit scrape right over here. That was one I just showed you. Dylan, he's over here a lot. We have a really cool 10 that looks like a beautiful 3-year-old 10. Reminds me of Shorty a little bit. He's following a big split 8-point, really heavy. He's got split G2s. We don't have a name for these bucks. We don't always pick a name like right off the bat. It's almost like you get to know
their personality a little bit.
You got any, like, won't be final, but you got any names for that really nice split G2 buck that's a solid big 8-point?
Give me a minute.
Yeah, we don't like the common names. LL Beams. Have you ever heard that before? No. That was a Dylan name. That's a good one. Because you can think of like Pitchfork. But nah, that one's too basic. Yeah. Been used. How many times has someone used Pitchfork? I mean, 1 million? I don't know. Anyway, at least 1 million.
That's another one you see all the time.
What's
Lefty,
that?
That's another one you see all the time. There's like 8 or 10 common buck names.
Yeah, Goliath.
I was literally thinking Goliath. Yep.
I heard one the other day. That was another big one that's used all the time. We have a lot of bucks moving close by. They're coming off the ag fields, and they're moving out into this bedding area. And sometimes we even see them down at the bottom and moving on into a bench over there. So they're bedding on the bench, moving through the bottom, coming up through the logging and going over to Leo's. Now I can admit, afternoon on Leo's opening day, if they're still moving through there, would be a really cool set. Beautiful clover field. It's very tempting to come in here in the morning. We have good access along the side here and coming in. When are you going to hunt your morning stands? I think there's a case for opening day for you to hunt a morning stand. This is not it. I'll explain why. Great morning stands, though, for the early season. Giant ag over here. Small woodlots. You have a 5-7 acre woodlot here. On the other side, that ag extends a half mile or more to the road. Deer really spread out. Maybe some ditch systems, whatever they have to work their way through. And on this side, CRP. On this side, a road with some brush alongside. You go into the back side of that woodlot, and you wait for those deer to come off the ag, be right at your lap. You've been watching them all summer long, come out of that wood lot. You know they're going back in. You can get in pretty low impact through a non-deer area, wait for those deer to come back. That's a good scenario. Areas that are surrounded by ag land. You have the corn on one side, you have the beans or hay on the other. We've had a lot of those where we've had some half-mile treks through the corn on opening morning in Michigan, October 1st, with frost to the point where when you're walking through, you're so heated up, you're melting the frost and you get soaked by the time you get to the woods because you're walking through corn stalks for a half mile off the road to get to the woods, but there's beans on the other side. So when you get in there, you're going through the non-deer area and then waiting for the deer to come through the food side, and you're sitting at the back, blowing your scent into the non-food or non-deer area and waiting for those deer to come in at your lap. Those are all some great scenarios. I shot a really nice one October 12th in Michigan, my buddy Ross's property, and we were hunting about a quarter mile off fields where they're feeding at night, open hardwoods, and then we're 100 to 200 yards away from their bedding area. Didn't see those bucks and I didn't see those deer coming in till probably an hour and a half after daylight because they milled through that open hardwood area where they're not going to bed. It was too open. It's a quarter mile off the fields where they're feeding at night. You could watch them spotlight, watch them at night, watch them go into that area. Then they're moving through the open hardwoods, really slowing down, taking a morning breakfast, and then they're moving into their bedding area. Not a bad scenario either, because you can come in from the opposite side, not go through their bedding area. You're just watching this movement left to right. And unless they're right in front of you when you get into that stand, you're not going to spook them. However, you get into an area like this, they're not typically coming through here in the morning. They're going that direction. This is an incredible cruising area. They cruise back and forth right here. At some point, they're utilizing the food plots more than they are the hayfield because of that last cutting. They focus more on the food plot. They're in and around here. They bed up here a little bit closer. And I love this for getting into the rut. We hunt this a handful of times a year, and it really is more rut and cruising related. And I love that scenario. There's a lot of acorns in here. So when those acorns are falling, more end of September into October, might not be a bad time, but typically we're hunting evenings. During that time, we come in here in the morning, we're spooking deer. So you really have to ask yourself, if you're considering that morning hunt, don't just hunt opening day in the morning because it's opening day and it's the morning. When should your first morning hunt be? Typically, most of our morning hunts, especially with these kind of scenarios, are during the rut. We're waiting until the end of October. We might hunt this in the evening before that time. It's a good case for that. They're slanting through here as they're going out. They're going through here to feed over on the other side of the draw over there. Not bad in the afternoon, evening, earlier in the season. When it comes to morning, if we're getting in here, we're likely, they're already bedded somewhere nearby. We're going to spook them. It's more of a rut cruising area in the morning hours, and it's just not the right time of year. But you have to ask yourself, if you're considering that morning hunt, where are the deer at and where are they not? When you have that clear answer, like some of the examples I've given you, then it's not a bad idea to go in, take a morning sit. A lot of times you have nothing to lose. You look at it like, if I'm going to spook the biggest buck in the area, then if there is a chance, maybe don't do it. And part of the reason too is not only where the deer are, where they're not, but you really can ruin an outstanding evening opportunity. And that's ultimately what you don't want to spoil. Here, we have a tree stand in the corner of a logging plot, and we have leals over there out of a blind that's hidden, redneck blind that's hidden in a bunch of gray dogwood. We can get into both of those in the afternoon, evening without spooking deer. We can get out of those because they're just pass-throughs, pass-through corner, or pass-through little clover plot. Great evening sets, more money. If the bucks are moving through there, high probability that we're going to see that bachelor group going through there when the season opens in about 4 weeks. So don't take a chance in the morning when you have that really high value afternoon set, and really consider where they're at, where the deer are, where they're not. If you have a clear answer to that, then maybe you want to take a chance, but ultimately make sure you don't spook out that outstanding afternoon, evening opportunity. And Dylan, I know you'll feel slighted if I forget to ask you this. No, we just got to the end of the video and Dylan pointed out, you're going to ask me the buck name? And so what do you think?
All right, so there's a long way that I got to this name, so I'm just going to give you the name.
Oh, that means it's good. Like LL Beams. That was a good one.
Crockett. Like
Okay.
Davy Crockett.
Davy Crockett. Okay, what's a long way?
Well, he's got splits like Slingshot.
Mm-hmm.
There's David and Goliath. David, Davy Crockett.
Wow.
Right?
I like Crockett. How many of you know of a buck named Crockett out there? See, this could be a first.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Dylan's not going to pick one that hasn't, that's been used before, especially some of the big ones. You want to use Samson?
Samson work. Oh, I like Samson.
No, I'm
Samson's
saying.
a good one too.
No, I like that. Let's call him Crockett.
All right.
Wait, we got to get Jen to approve it.
Oh yeah.
Think she'll approve? She'll approve it if it's Dylan's. If it's mine, that's up for debate, and I lose.